Morning. Here's the deal. I think I'm just going to take you with me. I have nothing spectacular planned. However, I just thought a random day in the life of a random human could be fun. So, I woke up extra early to do some journaling in my Hobonichis. There's a Formula 1 race, which I will be catching when it hits 8 a.m. And then I'm going to be with my cousin. We're going to a new coffee shop. So perhaps you will see all of that. And of course, what? A bookstore. And then I'll come back. And I don't know what I'm going to do when I come back. But maybe you'll see it, maybe you won't. And then, oof. I think I'm hate watching Love Island tonight. Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'm over them. I'm just like, ew, nobody's fun. You got rid of the two people who were like willing to make out with random people. Which, like, whatever. And then I'm sorry. I want Nick and Olandria to work out in some capacity. It's the only thing that made me excited. This season's such a dud. Rumor is, though, on Monday we might be getting the social media challenge. And then on Tuesday, movie night. I think I won't lose hope about that couple happening until after movie night. Because I just feel like the producers really should do, like, Secret Admirer. And show all the yearning looks that man has given her. But we'll see what they do. You know, I am but a wee human living here doing all the wee human things. Let's see. I promised myself I would not, I literally, where is it? I wrote here, keep up with your Hobonichi. LOL, the last thing I did was Sunday. I sat and did a dump. And it's all like... Can you believe it's going to be July on Tuesday? Okay. Let's get to it.
Who called the Williams undrivable is in P19. Next is Yuki Tsunoda, who still can't get a tune out of the Red Bull. Esteban Ocon couldn't switch the tyres on in the Haas. Next is Lance Pfizer at Alpine, reporting directly to the Group Renault board. not employed by the F1 team, is filling in after Ollie Oates departed the team.
Alright, we're dressed. I'm wearing my new Daniel Ricciardo shirt ready. Hopefully you can see that. If not, the race is still going on. We're at literally 54 out of 70 laps. However, I have to go meet my cousin. I'm a little nervous of going to this new coffee shop only because I don't think there's anywhere to park for it. And I didn't want to look at different coffee shops and offer a different option, so I didn't say anything. And now here we are, and I'm full of anxiety. I hate having to figure out where to park a car, and I would have just taken transit if I didn't have to walk like 4 blocks in an area that I'm not sure even has sidewalks. So, I guess let's go. Alright, we're back from coffee, and I have been back for a hot minute now. And then I was just on my phone. So, with the game plan, I did not take any footage of, unfortunately, my one and only event outside the house, which was coffee. So I'll put my cousin's photograph here, courtesy of her, thanks. It was good. I got a marzipan latte. I don't think the marzipan did anything to the matcha at all. It was really watery at the beginning of it, and I think it got better the longer it sat, but it wasn't really sweet. It wasn't really bitter. It just was kind of, it was a little watery for a little bit, and other than that, it was fine. I was nervous about the parking. I said earlier, however, there is a dirt lot across the street, and we just parked there. Crossing the street's a little bit of annoyance because it's 4 lanes. And even in the living room, you can hear them thump, thump, thumping. But okay, so I got shiznot I need to get done. I got to finish this, which are just these 2 days, and then Saturday and Sunday. So yesterday and today. And then I think I'm going to spend time updating my 5-year journal and finally catching that up. Because I think I'm 2 months behind. And then, because I don't want to do my book journal because I just don't have the creative energy to like write down reviews, which is going to be a bummer because I'm going to forget these plots. Especially because I want to backdate my story graph reviews to help me with my NetGalley arcs. Which I need to send an arc to my NetGalley. Like, I need to send an arc, not to my NetGalley, but to my Kindle, so that I can start reading it and like continue on with a themed vlog I have. So, we gotta get going because I think I'm gonna go see my friend later this week, which requires me to pack and set up. Pack and get everything done. I gotta apply to a job that closes on like the 2nd before I leave. So I need to do everything creative to set up. Because there's something about me not having my Hobonichi done and like having to backdate it that like kills my productivity on Monday. I don't know what it is, but I just have to have it all done. Like this needs to be updated in order for me to like process Monday. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this. We're gonna put on some YouTube. Mike's mic posted, so we're gonna do that. We're gonna possibly eat dinner so that when Love Island comes on, we can set up the walking pad and walk. I'm hoping for a really long episode, seeing as Taylor pulled what Taylor pulled last night, and I saw the first look. And I don't know, it's a heart rate challenge. And I'm like, can we bring in our tweets and what the people think of how like boring and disconnected this season is? Please, you're overproducing everything already. Just bring in like 3 days worth of like the US citizens of the Americas. Think you're gaming the system. Quit it, you losers. They're not really losers. You know what I mean? I don't know these people. I'll never meet them in my entire life. I'll never come across them. But they're pissing me off. So, because also, I can't imagine the heart rate challenges. That's also so many people in the villa. Like, what? Anyways, let's get to it so that I can just move on to task after task. So we can have a great Monday and an even better week. Sound like a plan? Stand. 1 through 3, go! I was gonna high five you. There it is. Cheers. Hat back on because you can see how greasy my hair is, so we're just gonna put it back on. We have fully updated all of my planners. I hadn't updated this since April 15th. So finally, here we are. I am now up to date. The next time I have to update is tomorrow, the last day in June. So cheers to that. I finally updated this, which is where I have 3 colors for. I spent $0. I spent money in the approved categories, or I didn't and purchased something outside of said categories in the red. And I'm thinking maybe, possibly, I should change the criteria, because I wrote the criteria somewhere, and can I remember where I put it? No, but I think I could find it. Maybe because, you know, I came up with this criteria in January and I've moved since then. And I don't know if you know, but I believe this house has eaten things. Personally. Because I can't find them. So I don't understand. But we did this. So I updated that. And then this is also updated. Pause. I closed the door. It won't really help, but it's better than hearing it as loud as it usually is. So, I updated for what I did on Monday. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, there's a little picture of me and my mom's. Will it focus? There it goes. Because she came to town. And then, yes, that is a screen grab of Nick and Olandria, sorry. I always want to say or. There's no R in her name. Olandria. And then I wrote my feelings about their kiss. And then my feelings about her friend zoning him. The audacity. And by the audacity, I mean, how dare they both do this to me. Their kiss had dopamine in it. It had a drug. And I was high off of it. Then I gave a world update about my feelings. And then the koozie coaster, the sleeve from the coffee shop we went to, plus the results of the Austrian, there we go, Austrian Grand Prix, or the Hungaro ring, depending on who you are. And then I went ahead and just started my to-do list for Monday. And then I wrote a little poem, and by I wrote, I mean I copied off of Pinterest. So there is that. I'm excited to finally have all 3 journals fully updated. Maybe, excuse me, tomorrow I will tackle my book journal, which I think I need to update for all of May. Like, I need to write in like summaries and thoughts, and then I need to do all of the June books that I've read. And then I also probably need to read, because right now I'm on track, but come tomorrow watch me be behind. So I think I'm going to put away my journaling stuff and everything else. Look how this bag looks so bright on camera. My long shot my aunt got me. It's lime green, if you couldn't tell. It's my favorite color. So the game plan, I think, is just to pick up so that obviously it's Sunday night and I can have a clean and clear start to my Monday. Although I'm kind of sad that I didn't stop at an H-E-B to pick up an orange Celsius. But you know, we live and we learn. So we're gonna do that, and then I'm gonna set up my treadmill because I'm gonna walk during Love Island. And I'm hoping for 90 minutes. Yes, that's the update. Oh, and now the AC wants to cut off after I'm done talking. Rude. Rude. Okay. 1, 2, 3, break. What time is it? I don't even know.
Previously on Love Island USA.
Bring it into the next day because I have Love Island thoughts. Should I be, I don't know, working and doing everything I need to do before I go to the dentist today? Yes, but I don't want to because it's applying for jobs. And that's how I feel. Anyways, y'all, this cast is pissing me off. Where to start? 1, I love Amaya Papaya and Zach. They're adorable. Zach is a man I would have pulled for a chat immediately, so I'm here for it. Excuse me. Second, you can tell, full stop. First of all, Olandra and Nick are downplaying that kiss so hard. And honestly, at this point, I want them to get busted. TikTok, Twitter, movie night, whatever. Let the world know that they're liars. Thirdly, Nick don't like Sierra. Like, I thought maybe he did. And now I see the dead look in his eyes. And that he can't even say, like, he's like, you're just the girl that... And, well, Taylor was the one for her. And it's like... I see that you don't smile. I see you're just... And it's like, Sierra, first of all, hello? Speaking of which, Sierra is pissing me off. 1, she does deserve better. She needs to get away from Nick because Nick is definitely not into her. 2, though, it really pisses me off. This is probably a bit of misogyny, a bit of white supremacy, a bit of the patriarchy coming through. But it really grinds my gears that every time she senses that Nick is like afloat in a loft, she ups the sexual ante. And I don't know why, but that bothers me so much. Because I'm just like, you're just basically doing an invisible hickey all over him the same way Huda was doing to Jeremiah. And nobody liked that shit. And not to say that like fucking a man is wrong. She can fuck whoever she wants. Truly. And Huda can leave hickeys on whoever she wants. But then you're creating like an entire dynamic to like of ownership, and I don't like it. Like, it's such an interesting thing to watch the men try to like run away and like breadcrumb and like not be there, and then watch the women try to physically mark them or emotionally mark them in a way that should be like, no, you're mine. I don't know, dude. It's weird, and I don't know if any of that makes sense. Plus, like, her cool girl attitude about like, oh, the kiss was whatever. Like, I have no feelings. You have no feelings about Olandria, who does not kiss outside of challenge, informing you that she kissed him, which means she kissed outside of challenge because you've seen them kiss during a challenge. And Nick says the same thing. And you're like, oh yeah, no, it's fine. And it's like, do you not see Olandria as like a threat to your relationship? And by threat, I mean just like someone who could build a connection with Nick. Like, you don't see her as a I don't like we're using the word competition because people are not in competition, but obviously this is also a game show and reality show at the same time. But I'm like, you just don't see it. Like, I don't know. I feel like I would be slightly concerned. I feel like if I was sensing bad things were happening and I was like panicking because my gut and intuition was telling me something was happening while I'm away from my man, and then you tell me that it's Olandria, and then you're like, oh, no worries. I just want to be like, that feels weird. Like, oh no, that Olandria could never be like an interest point for Nick is what it feels like. Although it might have been like, oh, she'll be honest, so she'll tell me immediately. Maybe that was the feeling. But like, it also feels like Olandria would never be an interest point for Nick. Which feels a little racist. Also, here on Pride Month, I am here for Sierra getting all the kisses. All of the girls feeling comfortable enough to kiss Sierra. But there's just something about the fact that her and Nick talked about how they're not allowed to kiss people who they show interest in, and so Nick did what he did with the feet. Find the loophole, my man, I guess. But then the fact that like she has already vocalized that I don't know, I feel like she's vocalized attraction to Shelly, whether it just be like she's the best kisser or I've been waiting to get my lips on her. And then she could kiss Shelly, but like Nick couldn't kiss Olandria or like anyone else. And all the girls, like, I don't know. I know, like, I'm here for bisexuality, like kiss whoever you want. But I feel like when you come to holding people to different standards because they're of the same gender, it feels like you're not taking those interests and attractions legitimately. You know, like Sierra could, and in fact is legitimately attracted possibly to women. I don't know if she's ever come out, but I would imagine she's legitimately attracted to women. So a woman kissing her that she's attracted to is in fact competition in the same way as Elon. Like, but it's like, you know what I mean? It feels like it's downplaying like the same-sex attraction and the bisexuality of the contestants, like the people on the show. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah. Also, I'm not a Huda stan in any form. I honestly don't like I don't like a lot of the cast. Personally, they don't come across well on camera. So, the fact that Shelly is upset at Huda for doing what she did, here's the thing. You set that up, babe. Do you want to know why and how you set that up? You let her be wild and hateful and mean to anybody who got an inch within a Jeremiah. Nobody stopped her. Nobody pulled her aside and said, girl, quit it. This is Love Island. Your man's is gonna get made out with. He's gonna get groped. He's gonna get touched. Like, this is what it is. And you need to cool it because you're being really hostile. A bombshell's job is to do these things, right? Nobody pulled her aside. Or right, the edit shows that nobody pulled her aside. So then, when Huda goes for your man's and does her stripper moves all up and down him for an extended period of time because she's having a blast and you want to be upset with it because you would never do that to Jeremiah. But but then never told her explicitly, or the edit shows, the edit stands, that you never told her that Ace was off limits. Like, no, no, no. Even though, ma'am, you pulled Chris not once, not twice, but I think 3 times. And that is a man she is coupled up with. I don't know. I don't know, Shelly. That's giving hypocrite. Because if that's how you wanted, like, if you should have laid down the lines. You can't complain about her behavior and then, I don't know, like, again, maybe Huda was doing too much. Maybe it was a little too long. But I just, like, to me, I'm just like, I don't think Huda personally, like, wanted to take Shelly out. In the same way that, like, Olandria telling Huda in, like, the first episode to, like, cool it, babes. We're new here. Was not a personal attack on Huda. The fact that she cried for that is ridiculous because I was just like, girl, you don't even know these homeschooling biscuits. Anyways, season 7 sucks. Truly. All I have in my head is the, like, confessional of Sierra's like, yeah, I tasted Olandria's, like, nope, toe polish or whatever. And the smile that that man had on his face, the delight of glee, that I was just like, dude, wrap it up. Y'all need to stop lying. I don't like liars. Everyone's lying to themselves, to us. I'm being lied to. And I really don't like that. For sure. And then also, oh, Olandria. Why did you pull Taylor to see what he's missing? He doesn't care. When she was like, people realize my value afterwards. I want to be like, you know who noticed your value in the moment? Nick. And you know why people tell you they notice your value afterwards? Is because you don't think you're worthy enough to, you say that you cut people off. But based off of that, I feel like that's a lie. You don't cut people off because you've allowed them to re-return if you know that they recognize your value after you've left. Because then they come back for you and you entertain them. That's how you know. Sometimes I'm just like, I sometimes wonder what it would be like to, like, be in this situation. So I sometimes think about it. Although I am in no way in capacity ever going to be someone who would be casted on a reality television show. Ever. I don't have the personality for it, as in, like, honestly, I think if I ever was casted, I'd get a villain edit for sure, because my bluntness and my honesty would rub everyone the wrong way, like it does in my real life. Because people don't actually like being told the truth. People enjoy being lied to, and that grinds my gears. So I hope you enjoyed or didn't enjoy. Do what feels right in your bones. Whatever this was. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.